just a normal day in New York. Someone is melting wax on their foot. They're screaming. They're screaming, actually. Ronan is filming me as... I hope that this is okay. So I was counting up the amount of tattoos I have, and I realized I now have 13. I thought I had like 5. So I figured 13 was a good time to do a tattoo tour. I've been asked for one. I'm not done with it all yet. So Ronan is here helping me film this. I'm gonna go in on my phone. I have in order the tattoos and dates that I got all of these because I forgot basically when I got them, but I went through my camera roll and found the exact dates that I got all of these. So the first one that I got is my Virgo tattoo. This is a Virgo on my middle finger. So the Virgo symbol was just because I was 17 and I thought I wanted a tattoo illegally before I turned 18. I still really like this. I felt like it had to be my first tattoo, so I'm happy with that. The second tattoo I got is this teardrop tattoo, which I got on August 12th, 2016. So just a few months later, and this was right before I turned 18, but I just wanted like one more that I can say that I got illegally. Sky Ferreira has a tattoo like this, and she's probably my biggest aesthetic inspiration from a very young age. She almost led me to go platinum very early, but I got scared with the damage that it can do to your hair. So I believe that she has a tattoo like this, or she has fangs. She has something like face oriented that I don't think she has this directly, but I definitely copied the idea for a tattoo that you can do something face oriented towards with seeing what she did. And the next tattoo I got is actually not visible anymore. It is an inner lip tattoo that used to say brat. Let me see if it's still there. It shouldn't still be there. I got it redone a few months ago, so I'll just show the pictures. So I got it when I was 18 and studying in Barcelona, and I went into a tattoo studio and I was like, I want an inner lip tattoo. I know they don't last. Will you do them? And they were like, no, but we'll do one for you. They were being nice or something. So I got that done. It left my mouth in like a month. It didn't stay very long for me. For some people it lasts for years. For me it didn't last long at all, and I went and got it redone, which I'll talk about. Or actually I only have 12 tattoos then. I miscounted. I have 12 tattoos because I counted this one twice for each redo. I don't know how to count that. The real first tattoo I got, which is like really well designed, was this tattoo, All Apologies. I got it on October 27th, 2017. I got this when I was in my first semester at NYU, and I love the Nirvana song All Apologies. It's also kind of a fuck you to my mom, because I used to say sorry a lot when I was younger, and she'd be like, stop saying sorry, and I'd be like, sorry, and it would be this cycle where I didn't know how to stop saying sorry. So I got this done at Bristol Tattoo Studio with Victoria Doe. I think she went to Bang Bang. So I remember I stopped going to her because she went to Bang Bang, and I was like a college student and I could not afford Bang Bang. But this is the Nirvana song. It's one of my favorite all-time songs, and also because it's a little inside joke with me and my mom. The next tattoo I got is the dagger, and this is a dagger with an ahimsa script on it. And ahimsa in Sanskrit means compassion for all living things. I got my yoga teacher training, and I have been aware of ahimsa far before that as someone who just tries to minimize harm in many different ways. I'm vegan but not militant. Like, I went through that phase when I was like 17, 18. Do what you need to do, live your life. That's just me minimizing harm. I just think harm minimization in general is a way that I live my life. Very utilitarian. So I like the irony of like compassion for all living things on a dagger. I don't like this. Spiritual warrior is a little cliche, but I like the paradox of it. And I went to her for a more Gothic design, and I wanted it to look a little bit like a crucifix. I didn't want it to look like a dagger with a very short blade and a very long. I wanted it to look a little bit like a crucifix. I remember styling it that way, and this was my first, I guess, like tattoo that I looked at and was like, okay, that's really defining. And when people think of me, I feel like this is the most direct tattoo because it's the only directly front-facing one I have. I then got Amor Fati on my shoulder, and this was done, I don't remember by who, but just like a resident artist. It wasn't done by anyone that I commissioned in particular. Amor Fati means love your fate, and it's one of my favorite sayings. I'm someone that studied Stoicism for quite a few years as soon as I got into philosophy, and it was something that spoke to me because Amor Fati just means acceptance. It doesn't mean wanting or not wanting. It's very flatlined, and it sounds prettier than what it really represents. So in a way I just reside with it because it's just like, love what happens, love what doesn't, and I got it on my shoulder. I also have a huge neon sign that says it. I've not opened the sign because it is a replacement for what I used to have in my room. I basically had the sign in my room, the red neon, everyone knows it. It stopped working, so I got a second one, but then I moved, so it's in storage in like at the Lower East Side somewhere. I trusted some random movers to put it there. I hope it's still there. The next one that I got is, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Oh, by the way, dates. I got this on February 28th, 2018. I got this on June 24th, 2018. So right after one another, basically. And then in September 28th, 2018, I got Three of Swords, and this is from the artist that I started going to for everything, Emrah Ozhan. So I don't know if we'll be able to see this at all because of my top, but I'm going to insert pictures, and I really need to shave. Oh well. Three of Swords, so it's a heart with 3 swords in it, and I'll put pictures to make it more visible. This one is the tarot card Three of Swords, and I don't have any placement. It's like associated with the middle part of Libra. I don't have any planets or anything, but it's my favorite tarot card, and it represents a betrayal or something that was a letdown that you end up finding a closure or ending around. Like someone betrayed you and you're kind of tidying it up and you're carrying on. Like the heart has been stabbed 3 times. You're like, I'm done. And I feel though as if early on I used to get my hopes up so much about things and have huge letdowns that's what led me to Stoicism, because now whenever I am quote betrayed or let down, I'm like, that is information and I can now package that up and move on elsewhere. So I'm someone that's very good on boundaries and very good on no's. So I have a lot of what I consider weapons or defense mechanisms placed on my body, and I just have naturally gotten into that. Then the next tattoo I got is my favorite, February 27th, 2019. It is my snake tattoo, and it is a king cobra. And king cobras naturally have this on it, and it's also the North Node or Rahu symbol in astrology, which represents like ambition, moving forward, the future, and obsession. And if you know me, you know that I was born with my sun on my North Node, so like there's a lot of like ambition and obsession in me. The bottom of this tattoo, I'll just take my shoe off so you can see this actually. It says power at the bottom of it, and so I wanted to make sure that like I am rooted, like with so much ambition and so much going after energy, I wanted to make sure that I was grounded in power, not letting power get to my head. If you look up examples of famous people who also have this in their charts, often they can be very like power hungry or obsessive, and so I wanted to make sure that if I got something to commemorate this, and I love snakes and cobras and everything too, that it was meaningful in a wholesome way, not like get to my head. But like I said, snakes, king cobras actually have that North Node symbol on them. So as someone born under an eclipse, which means that was in my chart, that spoke to me, and this is by far my favorite. This is also by far the only tattoo that was painful to a degree where I was wincing, because on the top of the foot there's no fat, there's no muscle, so that was the only tattoo out of all of them. No other tattoo was relatively painful. I think my artist just has a very light touch because he does very fine line work, but this took like 7 hours, and I was there, I remember, for like 10 hours in the studio for the prep, getting it just right. The next tattoo I got is my dragon tattoo, December 28th, 2019. So this tattoo is a dragon, and it says nullius in verba. So snakes and dragons are my favorite animals, mythical or not, basically, and this is Latin for take no one's word for it. Another defense mechanism oriented one, I guess you could say, but I get also compliments on this one, and there's some days where this is my favorite tattoo because one, dragons are badass. That one's not that deep, but eclipses are associated with dragons as well, and being born under one, like, it was just a lot. But nullius in verba is something that I like, take no one's word for it. Everyone is living in their own reality and projecting within that own reality, so often don't take their word for it, like look underneath and what do they want. So it's just kind of another, I am not like, I don't know, defense oriented one. Then I got my razor tattoo on January 18th, 2021. So this is Occam's razor, and this is the Latin for entities should not be something, let me look it up actually, I forget the actual Latin of it, like what it translates into. Entities should not be multiplied beyond necessity, that's what it represents, I don't need to look it up. So this is like Occam's razor, I live my life by it, like the simplest path is the most preferable generally, and I do stand by that it's when you start doing mental gymnastics and convoluted assumptions, reasoning, justifications, you fuck a lot up. Like extraneous energy, like when it's kind of like if someone's body has like an insane amount of fat on it, it's going to operate poorly in comparison to a healthy amount of cohesion. So I think about all things in life, like what is the simplest path? Honestly, if people start, like just today, I had a conversation with a good friend, and I told him, and I said this, I was like, the mental gymnastics here is so much that I'm not going to follow it. I'm not going to speak to you until you calm down a little bit and can be more concise with me. It's a lot. So I just put it here because it's a good location. Like the location is just what I think is aesthetically appealing. I'm running out of space that is obvious in my opinion that I'm like, I want it here, but I have a few more ideas for things that I do want. So this was the last major big piece I got. However, on March 26, 2022, when I was in Barcelona, I got my brat tattoo redone. I went to the same studio. I found the geotag of the picture that I took in the studio because I didn't remember the name. And I went into the studio and was like, do you remember me? And they're like, we have all new staff. We don't, like, what are you talking about? And it was like, I went in with the camera and I was trying to be like, do you remember me doing this? And they were like, wait, like, it was not a moment. It was really embarrassing. It was very cringe. So I deleted the footage. It wasn't even like cringe footage you wanted to use. But basically, they were like, we don't do this. And I showed them the picture and I was like, I was in here, I need to do it. So they actually started being very kind and they let me film and they got everyone in there and I redid it. It's gone again because the pH in my mouth just does not support tattooing apparently. Then the next tattoo I got, I'm on my last two, was June 3rd, 2022 of this year. I have the adrenaline neurochemical symbol behind my ear. I was at a house in rural Greece with a friend who's a tattoo artist, and he was giving anyone who wanted a tattoo. And I had been thinking about chemical structure a lot as a cool tattoo. I've liked that for a while, and I've always felt like I get a fuck ton of adrenaline, just in reference to studying neurobiology as a hobby in a certain way, learning a lot about it. I'm a very dopaminergic and therefore epinephrine heavy person. Like dopamine, epinephrine go hand in hand. Therefore, as someone who just I thought I got little to no dopamine. In fact, is the goal-driven motivation hormone, not the comfort, relax hormone. I get a lot of it. So a lot of people with the dopamine tattoo, I was like, that's not original. I'm gonna get the adrenaline one. Maybe a lot of people have it. People were trying to troll me and tell me it's the wrong structure. It's not. I looked this up many times before and after. So that's that. Second to last one. Then the very last one that I got was on June 5th, 2022, 2 days later by the same artist. Shout out to Felix. It's a red teardrop. So I got this to go with this. Maybe it's blood, maybe it's just a red teardrop, but I got these two so I can do this. It's my only red tattoo, and for now I have no plans for any red tattoos, but I have some plans for some other ones. I don't know what exactly I want next. I'm not going to share it because I'm very selective about tattoos because I work with my artist and then I share it. I thought about a collarbone tattoo, like a zipper pouring out blood. Then someone told me that I have really good collarbones and that would kind of fuck them up, and I agreed with them. I really value that because now I'm not going to fuck with here. Maybe no neck wrinkles, so that's gross. But I think that my snake one is my favorite one. It competes with this one. Oh my god, I do have 13. I forgot one. I completely forgot my revolver tattoo. This is so funny. What I did was I phone searched tattoo, because now on like photos it has good AI, so it can find what you search for. I searched tattoos and it picked up all of them but this one. I don't remember the date, but this is the actual most recent one I got from Emrah. So I'll post the date with the photo and everything. This would have been maybe October 2021, I think so. This is a revolver with script in Arabic that says, do not regret the war of your maturity. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, or very tongue-in-cheek, because it's Arabic with a firearm. But I went to Dubai and there was no issue. Like, people don't really put that together, that I didn't intentionally make it provocative, but everything I do somehow ends up being B-level offensive. No, I wouldn't say A-level, because A-level is admirable. It's like, that was funny. It's B-level where you're like, no, I'm gonna slide in and make fun of like how you tried to be edgy, but like you failed, whatever. I get the most compliments on this, one, because when you're walking, this is what you see, and two, because the shading on this is some of the best shading I've ever seen, and shout out to Emrah. This took about 6 hours as well, because of just how much this shading was, but it is like one of the prettiest things I've ever, I love it, and this was a lot of his idea. Like I said, I want the quote, I want the dagger, do your geometry thing and make it look cool, and he came up with this. So I forgot about this one, but good catch, I guess, on my end. And now that I'm talking about it, maybe this one's my favorite today. I don't know, but if I think about it, the snake has to be the favorite because of the iconic one. Dropping in to say that I am on my way to get another tattoo. So the idea that I had of the zipper opening into an eye along my collarbone, my tattoo artist was like, I'm not fucking with your collarbones, but I think I'm gonna put it on my hip, like my waist angled in basically, for that kind of like a zipper opening into an eye with a clock. That's my concept. So about to head over to my tattoo studio, or my artist tattoo studio, The Base, which is in Dumbo. So I'm heading over there, and this is just good timing to fit this into this video. So even though I do say I have 13 tattoos, this will be my 14th, and I'll take you with me along the way. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, exactly.
This is a bit smaller than that.
Okay. I think it's like perfect. I like that a lot. Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful. Okay, now I need like 15 minutes more to set
go
up my
for it.
station.
Cool. just got back from my tattoo. That was like 6 hours in there because 2.5 was on just getting the design right, and then 3 was the actual tattoo, and then like 30 minutes to just talk and like get the healing stuff after. So for a little, I guess a little picture, let's see if this lighting is decent. This is horrible lighting. We're gonna have to go in here. So for more clarity on it, I guess you can see it here. This is it all healed. So I counted, and I guess this is whatever the next number in my tattoos is. I counted 12, but then in my video, I thought I said 13 when I watched, like whatever. I don't fucking know what number this is. I don't have time to consider it. But the meaning behind it is, for one, there's a, well, okay, so there may or may not be a My Chemical Romance lyric that says find God in pain. The issue is that there's a line in Foundations of Decay, and it's either, it's either find God in pain or blood something. It's actually difficult to discern. I always thought it was find God in pain. It may or may not be. There's conflicting lyrics. I need My Chemical Romance to put out a statement saying if it's find God in pain or not on Foundations of Decay. Either way, I love the saying because I think like for the average person who just might look at pictures of me, they might be like, oh, privilege, never been through it. If you've been following my videos, you know the audacity that life has had some audacity with me. But I usually in those moments when it's like, everyone hates me, nothing can get worse, blowing up, like there's God in that in a way because you feel so alone. I think that those of you who might have been severely misunderstood and alienated could relate, but it's a good reminder, and I have it on my hip kind of in like a way of there would normally be a pocket zipper there. So there's a zipper there, and looking within, seeing the eye. There's some like dual complexities there, but for the most part, the placement is just trying to be like, I don't know, kind of funny with a pocket would be there. I love it. Let me see if I can, you saw it. I mean, there it is. It's really cool. There's even white ink. So there's white ink on the eye and then on some of the zippers as a way to make it really pop, because Emrah said that my skin would really make that like pop if you added white ink. So we did that. And yeah, that's my little interlude of the tattoo that I got right after making my other video. That's about it. So if you have any ideas for tattoos, I do appreciate them actually, because I do want more, but I don't have any direct ideas right now. So any ideas, let me know. Any thoughts or comments or offense that you take, I would be really excited to hear about it. So thank you for the 10-15 minutes of your time, and I'll see you in the next one.
There is one